You've covered the Help America vote verification story, right? HAVV, the SSA.gov story with all the voters who don't have IDs.
Yeah, that's right. So it's like that would be the one way to do it.
Texas goes blue and Missouri goes blue, and your swing states don't matter.
Yeah.
Texas goes blue. They call it for Biden right away. They say that's it. Trump can't win. In an upset, surprisingly, Texas, which we knew was trending blue because of transplants from California, actually crossed the threshold. We're very surprised to see it happen, but that's it. Your swing states don't matter. Right now in the polls, the only thing people are tracking are the swing states. No one considers Texas in play. But when you look at the Social Security Administration website, for some reason, which has not been explained to anyone, no matter how many times people bring it up or ask, how is it that Texas is registering 250,000 voter registrations every 2 weeks with no IDs? Now, some have said it's because they're cleaning their voter rolls.
But didn't one of the states come out and say, no, we're not?
Texas said, no, we're not. This is not true. We've not tracked this. They said, we've only added 50,000, not millions. Then you've got Biden's executive order, which was from 2021, about how any federal agency will issue registrations to people and get them registered to vote for the states at the federal level, and help produce IDs that would qualify as IDs in those states. My theory, I should say hypothesis, I don't know the probability, is the federal government is registering tons of people to vote, massive amounts of people. Who in the federal government and where would this be happening? I wonder. And submitting these registrations to the SSA for verification. Texas is unaware. Texas has not registered these voters yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get a major bump in registered voters in Texas abruptly in the next couple of months. And the reason why Texas is saying we're not seeing this number is because the feds are doing it. And the feds will then say, we verified, certified, all of these are legit registrations. Here you go, Texas. They're good. And then who are these people? Where are they coming from? What's going on? We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because, I mean, there are reports that I've seen that kind of show America as a whole. It's actually becoming more polarized in that there's always people saying like, oh, well, Texas is becoming blue because of California transplants. I've seen studies and polling done that show that actually transplants who are going to the states, who are going to Florida, who are going to Texas and Tennessee, they actually are conservative. So it's actually, we're becoming more polarized in that the liberals are staying in California and New York, and the few Republicans that are there, they're basically packing up shop and going to where there are like-minded people. It's actually native-born Texans who are in the cities like Austin and Dallas who are the blue ones. It's not just the transplants. So I don't know how that fits into, I guess, the overall shift that Texas is seeing. But yeah, I mean, I know that it's for a long time they've been saying like, oh, it's going to be purple because of the transplants. I think it's going to be purple just because of the urbanites, frankly.
Yeah, I think that is a big factor. I mean, I think the polarization is something people are experiencing on all levels of governments, and as blue states get bluer and red states get redder, inevitably there is a chance we could see the swing states shift over time. But I think the reality is that most people look at their state and say like, well, it doesn't matter if I vote here. So the biggest factor for me is always looking at like who is motivated to turn out for voting. Mm-hmm. If you're in Austin and you're like, we're in this terrible red state and we have to go to the polls because it's the only way to do whatever, and you're a Republican in Texas and you're like, but we always go red, so it's fine. Like, you might actually outnumber them, but you won't if you don't get to the ballot box.
I want to clarify real quick too, because I see someone in the chat saying Missouri is not blue. I want to clarify. Help America Vote Verification tracks the amount of people who have attempted to register to vote but do not have IDs. In Missouri, they are tracking every week around 20 or so thousand attempts at registering from people who don't have IDs. This could be voter roll cleanup, which would be a misuse of the HAVV system, because the Social Security Administration says the system is only for new voters and only should be used when new voters attempt to register. The other big issue is that I believe it was February 17th, Missouri tracked something like 30,000 deceased registration attempts. Again, this could just be misuse of the system and they're cleaning their voter rolls. Probably. Simple solution, I guess. I would not be surprised if it did turn out in 2024 in November that the results come in and they say Missouri was an upset and Texas was an upset and the pollsters never saw it coming. And then there's no explanation. There's no 4 a.m. vote shift. It happened. It's Ocean's 11. The heist happened 2 weeks ago. What you're watching now was the trick.